that have ever written anything down on paper that have helped people with their mindset and get the things that they truly want and desire out of their life. That is what we did this weekend by doing the groundbreaking with, the shovels and this 20,000 square foot library event center, Secrets of Success. And it was just magical. I don't think I've ever seen Russell so happy, so proud.
Welcome to the Miracle Plant Podcast, the show that inspires, promotes, and gives you a daily dose of inspiration from the people who have used cannabis to change their lives in extraordinary ways. Here's your host, Justin Benton.
Welcome back to the Miracle Plant Podcast, where we discuss this miracle plant with so many names and how it's helping people in so many extraordinary ways. Well, we did it. It is launched. It is live. It is real. It has happened. The Secrets of Success, the Atlas Research Library Event Center. We had our official groundbreaking this weekend out here in Boise, Idaho, with Russell and the gang and all the investors and influencers and people that have meant so much on this incredible journey. Yesterday, we went over to the offices there at ClickFunnels HQ and had an amazing reception, and Miles got us all checked in, and we did a little tour of the building and got to hang out with everybody a little bit before everyone came over. And they had like red carpet out and these beautiful machines and like caterpillars and bobcats and all of these golden shovels that were out there, and it was just such an amazing experience. Russell and I, we got to hang out and talk and drive over to a couple of different other locations where all the books are being stored and all the artifacts for when the library is actually built. So that's what this is all about. For those of you that have been listening to the podcast and following this journey, it's just been truly a ride of a lifetime. Don Green, the head of the Napoleon Hill Foundation, flew out with his brother Danny, and we got to hang out with Don, and Don got all the accolades and love shown to him for all the amazing, I always say to him, he's generosity personified. Ever since we struck up a relationship about a year ago, when I went out to an auction in Hollywood Hills for some really cool and rare Napoleon Hill, artifacts and books and signed checks, and there's even NFTs and cool things like that as well. And it's just amazing to think that it's only been 12 months. Since we've met and since we've formed a partnership, Russell and I and Secrets of Success and the Napoleon Hill Foundation, to see it come full circle in 12 months. Don flew out here and got to speak on stage and talked about, some great lessons for life. They say something, along the lines of, don't wait for your ship to come in, but go ahead and swim out there to your ship and make it happen. Because that's what he did to become on the board and eventually the president of the Napoleon Hill Foundation when W. Clement Stone, was talking with Don, and W. Clement Stone was like, Don, you know more about these books than I do. And so he initiated that conversation, Don did. And, lo and behold, he's been the head of the foundation for 23 years now, published almost 200 books in his time from Napoleon Hill's works. And through that partnership, with Don and myself and Russell, we have so many exciting things coming. I can't really talk about it, but I can kind of talk about it. I know that, the ink hasn't dried on the contracts quite yet, but that's kind of where we are. We have game-changing things that are coming down the pipeline. Unpublished manuscripts, TV series, animation series. We truly are going to change the world. We already are changing the world, teaching these lessons that might have been lost or forgotten, from the 1800s and the Samuel Smiles and the Orson Swett Martin, and, that developed into Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie and all of these incredible thought leaders that have, truly, they've unlocked the secrets to taking control of your mindset. And we want to make sure that we deliver these incredible legacies and preserve them and allow you access to have, these cheat codes, if you will, that allow you to live a life of abundance, to live a life of happiness. We all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to live the life we want to live. But living in this world that we live in right now, it's not who's going to teach you that, right? If you've got great parents that have been exposed to these kinds of insights that can help you take control of your mind, to understand just simple things like you get what you focus on, right? For me, I've been saying that for years, and our brain is wired to look for what is wrong, right? That's the lizard brain. So it's waiting for a saber-toothed tiger to jump out of a bush and eat us. Well, guess what? There's no saber-toothed tigers. But that's the hardware that we have in our brain looking for what is wrong. So what we have to do is reprogram, rewire. Literally, you're rewiring the way that your brain fires and receives information because you're looking for what is right. What is it that you want to have happen in your life? Focus on that. Don't focus on what you don't want to have happen, because again, the universe, God, the higher power that you believe in, if you focus on what you don't want to have, well, it's just like a magnet and you're going to get it because that's what you're focusing on. If you focus on what you want to have, whether it's great health or a happy family, whether it's financial abundance, whether it's traveling or better relationships, whatever the thing is, focus on the positive side of it, the thing that you want, and you will receive it. Because that's how the universe works. That's how this is, all of these atoms and neurons and things like that. When you focus on what you want, your subconscious mind, which does 90% of all of the action in your life, will draw you towards it. You'll see opportunities or conversations or people or things will pop up because you're focused on what you want. And I can even give you a further example. When I joined Russell Brunson's Inner Circle when he opened it back up in 2021. And, I knew that I wanted to be closer, to this incredible guy that has taught me so much. And I've shared a lot of the lessons here on the podcast that, this guy has taught me so much about, traffic and marketing and sales and because he's been a studier. He's been, procuring this incredible information for, going on 2 decades now. And when COVID hit in March 2020, and we had to shift our businesses from physical stores and franchises and all of the normal things that people did before March of 2020, we had to figure out how to offer our products and attract our audience online. And I was so blessed to come across Russell and Traffic Secrets. And when he opened up his Inner Circle, I was focusing on what I wanted. I was like, this guy has taught me so much. I need to get closer, and figure out what else that he can help me with. And then when he taught me about the Dream 100 and going after those Dream 100 audiences, that's when I put him on top of the Dream 100, to pay homage to everything that he had taught me. And by focusing on that, look where I am now. Russell and I are partners on the secret of success. Dawn and I, and the Napoleon Hill Foundation and Russell, we have a partnership because I focused on what I wanted to have happen, which was I wanted to align and work with great people and do amazing things that has real lasting impact on this time that I'm here on this earth. And by doing that, by constantly staying focused on what I wanted, I got it. And I'm telling you, you can have the same things. And a lot of the times, the simplest thing that you need to do is pull out a sheet of paper, pull out a pen. There's a reason, that they call, writing or spelling. It's like writing a spell with your pen on that paper and write down, what is it that you want? When you write down your goals, when you write down the things that you want in your life, and you constantly remind yourself and it gets programmed into your subconscious, those things will happen. Now, as our friend Tony says, A lot of people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in a decade. Time is going to pass regardless, whether you take action on going after the things that you want in life or not. So you might as well go for it, because time's going to keep going. Just like that old Chinese proverb, when was the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the second best time? Right now. And these are these secrets, these insights that has transformed my life, that I get to share with my family. But maybe you didn't have a parent that had these kinds of insights, or a friend or a mentor. And we are, opening up, and this groundbreaking is allowing access to these types of insights through, virtual reality. We had goggles on there. We could walk through the library, and pick out a book off the shelf and read through these books. There's going to be, like I said, TV series and animation series for the younger kids out there, so they can consume this information. This YouTube world that we live in, people aren't sitting around reading books anymore. And that's okay. Some people are audible, some people are readers, some people are visual, but you have to meet people. We don't have to meet them where they are. We want to meet them where they are. And right now it's video, watching video or listening to Audible, just like this podcast right now. Like for me, I'm a podcaster, right? Obviously. So I love to listen to other podcasts too, because I can multitask and do other things. And that's what works for me. And what works for the future generation is virtual reality, augmented reality, the goggles, all of that. When you step into this new world, like Ready Player One, the movie, that is here. And so you can either resist it, which is your choice, or embrace it, because it's here. And that's what the Secrets of Success Library is all about. We're talking about dozens and hundreds of the greatest minds that have ever written anything down on paper, that have helped people with their mindset and get the things that they truly want and desire out of their life. That is what we did this weekend by doing the groundbreaking with, the shovels and this 20,000 square foot library event center, Secrets of Success. And it was just magical. I don't think I've ever seen Russell so happy, so proud. This vision that he had 3 or 4 years ago about building this library came to fruition this weekend. He had these temporary offices and libraries set up and showing off, beautiful displays with paintings and books and magazines. And I mean, it must have already been, like 10,000 square feet of books that he already has. And he's got so much that he hasn't even been able to get through it all, and thanks in large part to Don Green and the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And we have so many cool projects that are coming that are going to change the world, in a good way. Be a change for good. Give people access to these insights that are going to allow them to live a life of abundance, of happiness, of joy, of peace. That's what we all deserve. We all deserve to be happy and do the things that light us up. And for those that are seeking that, right, they talk about like when in the Coast Guard and there's a ship overturned and there's a helicopter that's only got room for 5 people on it. And there's 20 people out there in the sea. And they ask, the Navy SEALs or the Coast Guard, they say, well, how do you decide which 5 you're going to take? And they say, we rescue the ones that swim towards us, right? We can't save people that don't want to be saved. We can only help the people that want to be helped. And so if you're one of those people that wants to, upgrade or just take life to the next level, just have more happiness, less anxiety, have more abundance, have more things, travel more, spend more time with your loved ones, right? And I just challenge you to sit down and write down 3 things. What are 3 things that would bring you joy in your life, right? That would bring you peace in your life. What are the things that are most important to you? And once you write those things down, then you learn these insights. You learn this mental game to attract and make sure that you're getting it. And sometimes you're already, if you write them down and you realize, I'm already getting the things that I want, that I have. So what do then? You stay grateful and how blessed you are to realize that you have them, and stay focused on that. Stay focused on that gratefulness, and thank, the universe and God, however you define that higher power, for allowing you to live in that state and to have the things that you want, because more will come, right? The brain can't be fearful and grateful at the same time. It's physiologically impossible. So when you stay in a state of gratefulness, then more grateful things are going to come your way, instead of attracting the things that you don't want, like we talked about. So again, that's what this is all about. That's what this weekend was all about. I flew back early from Denmark. My family's on their way back here in a day or two. Had an amazing trip out there, and got to meet you want to talk about grateful, happy people. Denmark and the Danes are just so cool. Like every year, they win the happiest country, the happiest people in a country in the world. And I got to meet them and see them. They're just happy and smiling and grateful and family oriented and just beautiful people. Take the shirt off their backs. And it's just, it was a great reminder for me to see another culture, to see another way that people look at the world. Obviously I'm American. I've spent most of my life here in the U.S. But there's ways that we can learn from others. So if someone's a country that's voted the happiest country of all times, I want to know why. What is it? Why are you happy? What insights do you have? Right? And so that's, again, why we are building this library, this event center, this museum, is to share these insights that we find. And the most exciting news is coming up in a few weeks. We're going to be able to give you access to this library. Look, the people that were there this weekend have invested up to $1 million to be a part of this process, this library, this incredible life-changing thing. But stay tuned for a few weeks from now. I'm going to be able to share with you access to this incredible library, these incredible works of art that will change your life forever. So stay tuned. There's going to be access for you. You don't have to scratch out a check for $1 million. You can scratch out a check for $1 million. I believe there's still seats available. And that's what would happen in that room. We were in the room with these incredible people like Annie Grace and Bill Allen, of course, Russell and his team, and Christy Morale was there, and, Eric Beer and Mark Stern, and, the dynamic duo from Sound Wisdom Publishing, Dave and Nathan, and just being in the room and collaborating and talking, and, Annie Grace and I, we both, got a chance to sit down and again, by just being in the room, Annie Grace and I are sitting here talking about putting a really cool product together, for her audiences. And that's in the pipeline now, and it has to do with the miracle plant, and she came up to me and she's like, hey, I got an idea for you. And we sat and talked and collaborated on, she has some really cool like supplements and a whole new line that she's launching for her audience. And, she's been on Good Morning America 4 times, and she's sold over 1 million copies of her book, and she's got some great books coming. She's just brilliant. And because I was in the room, I got to have that conversation, which will forever change my life and my family's life and her audience's life, because I was in the room focusing on what I wanted to have happen. So again, we're going to be able to give you access to these secrets of success in the coming weeks. So stay tuned. I'm sure I'll have a lot more to talk about when it comes to that. But I'm just so grateful that life has been so good to me, being on this journey and partnering with Russell and serving this mission the way that I have has just been the absolute ride of a lifetime, and I'm so grateful for it. And because I'm grateful for it, more great things will continue to happen. So I encourage you to look at all of the great things that you're having in your life. And if your life doesn't have the things that you want, well, start writing it down and start being focused on those things that you do want, and model other people that have accomplished or got the things that they want in their life and learn the secrets from them and try to understand, like, well, what was it? And some of these people are no longer with us on this earth, but if they wrote it down or they recorded it somewhere, we're going to be able to bring those insights to you within this Secrets of Success offer that's coming up in the next few weeks. So again, just giving you the update, sharing with you the excitement that this, ride of a lifetime, and I'm just so honored and humbled and blessed to be able to do something that's so important, that's going to have such a major impact on so many people's lives. And I'm doing the thing that I love, I'm doing the thing that I'm great at, doing the thing that lights me up. And weekends like this with this groundbreaking for the Library Museum Atlas Research Center, I'm overjoyed with gratitude. So on the count of three, we say heal the world, because that is the mission, to reach 1 billion people by 2025, about the power of this miracle plan in the raw form. Just like I talked about, just being in the room, Annie, Grace, and I are going to do some cool projects together that are going to serve millions of more people to help us reach that goal with the power of this miracle plan in the raw form. So again, I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this mission. By listening to this podcast, you are now a part of this mission, because you're understanding insights about this plant or these secrets to success that is a part of you now, that you can go on and share and talk to others about to help them get what they want, whether it's health or whether it's a positive mental attitude, the things that you want, by focusing on what you want to get out of your life. So on the count of three, let's say heal the world, and get out there and do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Heal the world! Thanks for swinging by the Miracle Plant Podcast. Be a blessing, everybody, and happy healing.
Thanks for listening to today's show. To check out more great cannabis podcasts, go to PodConx.com. Here's a preview of one of our other shows.
99.9% of our DNA is identical. It's a 0.1% that truly makes us different and unique. And that's what the show is about. Find out that 0.1% about your favorite guests. Find out what music they like, their first cannabis experience, and even what their room looked like growing up. But more importantly, or as important, their journey. Learn what makes them unique on Everything is Personal.